And we are live. Welcome, everybody. Cosmos DeFi here, Cosmos Joe, NFT Happy Hour. We're going to have a very interesting space today with our first Ethereum project. I'll bring in Maria in a couple of seconds. We've already got some people in the chat, which is awesome. Hopefully, everyone made it to the weekend okay. I know I did. I had a rough week. So, was really looking forward to this. The project's called Yayo, by the way, Yayo Corporation. And yeah, like I said, first Ethereum project we'll have on NFT Happy Hour. I'll get Maria in here and we'll head over to the space momentarily. There she
Hello,
is.
everyone.
How's it going?
Doing good, doing good. Really looking forward to speak with him.
Yeah, this will be cool because we'll talk with him. I don't even know what to call him. He's anonymous, right? So we'll talk to him. And then when we go to YouTube after about 45 minutes, there is some Stargaze news that we'll touch on. We have some giveaways as well for people in the chat. Gaines is here. Gaines is the person who told me to reach out to this guy. So thanks to Little Gaines for making that connection. And also Don Kryptonium. He's like, hey, talk to Gaines. Gaines is involved in this community and they're pretty good. So call him boss. All right. Well, I'm gonna start the space and we'll get our act together here. But anyway, how's things going with you? What are you working on? I know probably something big, right? Gelato.
Yeah, gelato. I'm working on gelato. It's taking like all this month. I'm working from Monday to Monday because it's a big collection, all one-on-ones with different poses. And like all of them has to be different. So it's quite a lot, but I'm pretty happy. It's coming really amazing. So diverse. Like there is for all kind of styles you maybe prefer. So pretty happy with the results, to be honest.
All right. And I'm getting a message here that the Twitter has been locked, so that's not good. Let's see. Let's see if I could fix it. No, we're all set. We're all set. All right. I'm gonna roll our little graphic here and then we'll start. Welcome everybody in the chat. We're gonna get started in about 15 seconds. Hey, everybody, we're going to start any second now. I'm going to bring Maria up here to start us off, and then we'll bring up our guest, Yayo. All right, all right. Hopefully that was smooth enough. We'll see how, yeah, we're good here. We're good. All right, Maria, feel free to start us off.
Hello everyone. Let's gonna get this space started. First of all, let me remind you, all of you, that please go to the bottom of the space. Please like, retweet, so we can get more people.
That helps.
If you interact during the space with emojis, apparently Twitter is gonna, reward that. So let's gonna do it. So let's go. Welcome everyone to the new NFT Happy Hour show. We're so excited to be here with you again. This time we're gonna talk with one project on Ethereum, which is Yayo NFT. But before we start, let me thank you all for joining us. Thank you to whoever is watching the stream or listening to the recording. Joe, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. And yeah, we have already a lot of people in the chat, which is awesome on YouTube. Bunch of people in the space. I'll bring our guest up here in a second. Just want to shout out the audience. They've been really supportive. People have been tipping us on YouTube, so we definitely appreciate that. Anything that we get, we need to kind of enhance the show, grow the channel, and all that. Get giveaways. But yeah, this is the format we're shooting for maximum engagement. Last week we were talking about Stargaze. We are going to talk about Stargaze when we go exclusively to YouTube in about 45 minutes. We probably have a lot of new audience members. I'll introduce myself as if people don't know me, right? And then you could do the same, and then we'll bring up our guest. How's that sound?
Sounds perfect. Let's go.
All right. So my name is Joe. I'm a YouTuber. I go by Cosmos DeFi on Twitter and Telegram and Instagram, and I'm very interested in all things NFT, DeFi tutorials on my YouTube. I have two different spaces that I run. One of them is this, along with Maria. The other one is called DeFi 101. It's an educational DeFi themed Twitter space, and my content spans multiple ecosystems. I'm interested in all of it. And yeah, I had to get in touch with, I wanted to get in touch with a project that has really good community culture, a really good vibe, a lot of attitude. That's why we got Yayo this week. But Maria, I'll let you introduce yourself to whoever might be new to us in the audience.
Yeah, thank you. So my name is Maria. As you can see, I'm one of the hosts of NFT Happy Hour. And I am as well one of the hostess of Getting Real Space, which is my mental health weekly space, along with my friend Victoria every Thursday. But more important, I am a one-on-one artist and illustrator from Spain. I had different pieces exhibited along this past year during different NFT events like NFT Liverpool, NFT NYC, NFT San Francisco. I'm going to be talking on MFest in Barcelona next month. So if you're around, be sure to DM me so we can meet in person. The majority of the pieces exhibited were for my beloved project, Women from Cosmos, which is an NFT art project that came to celebrate us, celebrate strong, unique, and empowered women. And well, if you want to check my art, you want to commission me, just go to my bio. You have my link tree there, and you can send me a DM in whatever social you prefer. As we were saying, I'm gonna breathe a bit. As we were saying today, we're gonna talk with Yayo NFT. Yayo NFT is a project based on Ethereum. They launched it on Canto. However, they are based on this kind of vibes of like power, violence, masculinity, luxury. And what got my attention actually is that they actually have this kind of vaporwave aesthetic, which personally I love. To whoever not knowing what is vaporwave, vaporwave aesthetic is a kind of aesthetic based on the 90s, you know, like bring visually like early images from the 90s, web designs from the last decade of the 90s, glitch art, anime. I mean, I love it. And it was like really curious to me to see that they are kind of based on that style. I'm gonna ask the guests later about this, but also that got my attention that it is a project actually really community driven. Maybe I'm wrong, we will see now with him, but it's kind of remind me like different Ethereum projects that are like him. In the case, I can't recall maybe Dead Fellas, obviously, yes, if you know me, you know that I love that project, but you can clearly identify, right, the community behind that project, and I feel that it's the same with Yayo. It was really fun going through their Discord, but we're gonna touch base now. Let's gonna bring the guest to the stage so we can, ask him different questions.
Perfect.
Hi.
Welcome,
Thank you
welcome.
I'm Joe and Maria. It's a pleasure. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
I'm doing great. It was kind of a crash landing into the weekend for me, but I'm feeling good. It's Friday. I'm always in a good mood on Friday.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what can I do for you today? What kind of questions did you guys have for me?
I guess our audience is split today. We'll have a lot of regular audience members, and we cover mostly Cosmos ecosystem. And then I already see in the YouTube chat there's a bunch of Ethereum people sporting the Yayo PFP. So maybe for the new audience, if you could just give like a generalized concept of the Yayo project, the Yayo man, as you guys refer to it, just to get everyone up to speed on the basics on what this is about, and then we'll definitely deep dive into some other questions. And I know you wanted to speak about kind of expansions beyond just the NFT. We'll definitely hit that as the space goes on.
In 2021, and under Remilia, it's a Remilia project, and it was originally for a token. We had put out a iconic white paper that demonstrated us as the first power coin on a 4-scale categorization for different types of shitcoins. And it was wildly successful because we put more effort into the aesthetic than anybody else did. And it helped us kind of jumpstart Remilia as we moved into creating the very iconic and legendary Milady Maker project and several other projects. As you know, Remilio, Redacted Babies, Bonkler. We just recently released the Fumo, the mega-sized alien one yesterday. That was wildly successful. But Yayo, it was a coin in the beginning, and it eventually transitioned into an NFT. We wanted to give value back to the people who held the coin loyally. And the Yayo man is essentially an archetypical concept of everything that, you know, masculine minded people love. And it's kind of a combination of the cross point between like what a little boy loves and what a man loves. What do little boys like? They like action figures, they like explosions, they love Hot Wheels, they love toy guns. And those are sort of a reflection of the things that you enjoy when you grow up. Everything little kids do sort of mimics what they do as adults. And as you grow older and as you become a man, you develop more technical understanding of things and you develop more technical interests. Men love logistics and categorization. They love memorizing data. They love mechanics and industry and history. And the cross point of all of those things are cars and guns. And furthermore, those things are represented in the media that we consume. So, say, for instance, video games and movies. That's why everything about the Yayo NFT exists in that cross point where we develop archetypes and we tie them to real world brands and identities and things that you actually recognize having grown up with it all your life. For example, when you play Grand Theft Auto, for instance, and you're driving cars with made up names or you're shooting guns with made up names, those aren't as satisfying as driving a Corvette or a Mercedes or firing an AK-47. That's the one of the biggest points that we did for our NFT is we made sure to use real world brands, makes, and models for everything. Even the colors of the cars, we did research and we tied those to the specific swatches available from the factories for the year each car was produced. So what it does is it creates citation. Everything has a citational reference. There are figures in the Yayo Man collection that are based on real characters. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator. You have RoboCop. You have Mad Max. You have Marty McFly from Back to the Future. That's the sort of Wild West, like anti, like copyright mentality where we take that risk because people are legitimately excited to have recognizable things. And when you create the random chance to combine those recognizable things together, it creates this sort of strange context where every single Yayo NFT tells a story on its own. In terms of value, Yayo Corp originally began with Scarface Miami Vice aesthetics. We took a lot of inspiration from Hotline Miami synthwave culture as well. But Yayo itself has delved into a lot of philosophical tangents and ideas where, as an aesthetic, it can essentially follow down any pathway. You can be a cowboy, you can be an astronaut, you can be an ice road trucker or an oil driller in Texas. It can be basically anything that's masculine, good, and powerful. And it's something that's more so felt rather than understood as a technical concept. So Yayo is almost what you want it to be, but it does follow certain rules. And I would say the closest thing is it follows the rule of cool, basically. So that's what Yayo is now. And we're going to be expanding to stuff in the future, but I know you wanted me to talk about that a little later. So that's what Yayo is for now.
Cool. You know, we do have specific questions about that. Maria, I'll let you start off. I mean, we both have a bunch of questions for you because, like I said in the intro, we don't really interact too much with Ethereum. We're mostly Cosmos minded. So yeah, Maria, why don't you start off?
Yes, absolutely. So I love like the rule of base of cool. Yes, that's pretty awesome. I wanted to ask you actually because I saw that you at the beginning launched on Canto and then moved to Ethereum. Just wondering how has been the bridge experience where you decided to move to Ethereum, which obviously I'm more than sure that I know the answer, but just wanted to hear from you about that.
The bridge experience, from what I understand, has been incredibly smooth. It's one of the fastest bridges between chains that I think has ever been produced, to the point that people are actually using our bridge to transition their Canto to Ethereum because it's quicker to just buy Yayo and bridge your Yayo NFT rather than trying to bridge Canto to Ethereum. It takes less than 5 minutes. You could, if you still haven't bridged your Yayo NFT, please do. It's on yayo.fund, and it's just been a fantastic process. Hats off to our developers, CCC, Tim Clancy. They did a great job with that. We moved to Ethereum because we needed room to expand. We essentially hit every single metric of superiority on Canto. We have the most volume. We had the highest floor price. We had, all every single metric on Alto.build, the Canto marketplace. We hit number one. We 100%ed Canto. So it was time to move on. And our community was basically universally begging for it. And it just seemed the logical move. Ethereum is like the big boy zone. It's where everybody goes to duke it out. So we dominated Canto basically. So we moved on and we wanted to move to Ethereum. And that's our home now.
That sounds legit, actually, yes.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. We've been talking to a lot of projects that have started in one place, moved to another for whatever the reason might be. But I think you guys kind of outgrew your ecosystem there. It sounds like.
Yeah, we deserve bigger fish to fry, is how Charlotte Fang put it, and I would agree. I don't want to stand here dancing around on top of Canto all day, but we essentially had to pull in a lot of outside support to reach those metrics and to hit 5 figures in terms of Canto price. So, we brought in, we pulled people in and we made it happen. And Ethereum was planned for a long time, and it was the only logical place for us.
It definitely makes sense. One of the things we talk about here is that sometimes projects have to do what they have to do, and the community, has to kind of trust in the founders if they're going to be part of that project. I got a list of people here, and I'm hoping I could run down the list, and you could let me know if these would be if any of them would be the quintessential Yayo man, right? And I think this will be a fun for the audience probably, but also fun for me. So I'll go one by one. Is that cool?
Sure.
All right. Number one is someone we see quite a bit. Everyone here knows who it is. Joe Biden. Yayo or no Yayo?
No, he's not Yayo. Not at all.
All right. How about Justin Trudeau for our friends up north?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. How about Kanye West?
No, I wouldn't say so either.
How about The Rock?
The Rock, I'd say some of the characters he represents could be considered Yayo men. I think as a whole, as a person, he's very family friendly and kind of a PG-13 kind of guy. I respect what he's done. I respect what he's done. He's one of the highest paid actors. He could be a Yayo man. He could be, but he tends not to be in his personal life. I would say at the end of the day, Yayo men are men of action, and actors in general, they just represent things. So the characters he represents could be, but him as a person, I wouldn't say so.
All right. What about Tom Hanks? Any of his characters would fit that?
Absolutely. His characters, I don't think I've ever seen anything that kind of like Tom Hanks kind of plays family friendly, safe roles. He kind of did like some comedy in the 80s, but no, I wouldn't say Tom Hanks either.
All right. And then my boyhood hero was Sylvester Stallone. What about him?
Absolutely. Sylvester Stallone,
okay.
Definite Yayo man.
I think I've watched Rocky 2 probably 10 or 15,000 times. But as a kid, I would literally put on like red shorts, take off my shirt and watch Rocky 2 like 4 or 5 times in a row.
Not just as a character, but I would say even him as an individual. What he did was incredibly impressive. He came in as an outsider, and when he was writing Rocky, he was basically living hand to mouth, incredibly poor. Yeah. He had to sell his dog. Just to make ends meet while writing Rocky. And as soon as he got the paycheck for the script, he immediately went back and bought his dog back for like 100 times the price.
I heard that.
First Rocky movie.
One of the episodes of Mike Rowe's podcast, he tells the story of Sylvester Stallone struggling, and then I think you're right, he buys the dog back for like $35,000 or something like that.
Yeah, he's one of those figureheads from older movie culture where you saw this a lot more in Hollywood in the 20th century, where someone could really take over and make a movie for themselves. It's not really as possible nowadays because everything's by committee, but Sylvester Stallone, people don't understand, he wasn't just an actor. He wrote a lot of his own movies, and it showed in the fact that his movies could be kind of strange and even ridiculous at times, but it showed how much power he had over the projects he wanted to do. Over the Top, for instance, it's a movie about a truck driver who's trying to get custody of his son from a divorce while also taking him cross country to make it to an arm wrestling tournament. And every single problem across the way he solves through arm wrestling. Tango
Yes.
and Cash, for instance, like that was a ridiculous movie that self-satirized, the Rambo movies. And
He
he's
does a
known
lot
for
of stuff like that in his old age, where he kind of makes fun of he does parodies almost of the 90s action movies that he was so good at doing.
Absolutely. People don't understand that 90s and 80s action, the over the topness of it was itself satirical. It was a sort of inside joke from directors who had grown up through the 60s, the 50s, the 70s, and they were sort of creating something exaggerative, which eventually became its own theme, like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando, Predator, all that kind of stuff. I believe there was even a contest between Jerry Bruckheimer and James Cameron where they were basically trying to see who could have the biggest explosion in their movies. So it's always kind of been like a tongue-in-cheek thing with those kind of 80s action heroes.
Oh
But yeah, I
yeah.
respect Sylvester Stallone is a definite Yayo man. And Rambo actually is one of our Yayo characters with
Oh, that's
M6.
awesome. I think First Blood's probably one of my favorite movies of all. I might like First Blood even better than some of the Rocky movies, but I remember seeing Over the Top in the movie theater as a kid.
Yeah, and then there's also The Specialist with James Woods, where it's like two guys who are just really good at making bombs, and they basically just keep trying to bomb each other throughout the whole movie. But yeah, First Blood probably is one of my favorite too.
Maria, you got to watch Over the Top this weekend if you have a rainy day. Over the Top is I don't even know what to say about it. I think it's basically as he described. The guy just drives cross country, and every problem ends with an arm wrestling match that he wins. It's just
It's like it's basically like it's like an anime but a live action. Every single problem is solved through arm wrestling.
it's not a bad way to go. I remember having arm wrestling tournaments with my friends as a kid after that came out. But anyway, yeah, this is a wow. This is a good trip down memory lane, especially those movies, man. They're just like I could watch them no matter. I could stop what I'm doing and watch any of those Stallone, Schwarzenegger, even Bruce Willis movies from back in the day.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to ask you, because navigating through your Discord, I could see that you have set it up like if the project was a company and the holders your partner or employees. Like, can you tell us why you came up with that idea and if that takes part in the future for some upcoming collection or something new coming?
Yes. So the way the Discord was set up is like a corporation. And this was specifically Charlotte Fang's idea. You go in, and there's a lobby, there's principles, quotes, guidelines. The entire thing essentially is to create a sort of atmosphere that's obviously it's a little tongue in cheek, it's a little humorous, but it's also semi serious. Our main discussion area is the boiler room. And all this is gearing towards our upcoming trapezoid scheme, which is our sales affiliate program. Basically, owning the Yayo NFT gives you the highest rates for sales affiliate links that you can use to sell our supplements and other upcoming merchandise. And the entire purpose of the Discord is building up to be this place of growth and self improvement. It's mainly going to be focused on health and fitness and the ability to learn how to sell. And this comes from a thesis of Charlotte Fang's, where the only things that people pay money online for as a product on any level of actual successful scale is either the ability to improve yourself or to make yourself more money. So that's essentially our entire vertical here, is to help people improve themselves and to help them make more money. And sales is something that I have personal experience in, and I find it's a very enriching process to learn how to sell to people. It's sort of a battle of willpower, because you're taking your own personal will and your own reality, and you're trying to sort of combat that against people who initially come at you on a skeptical level. When you walk into a car dealership, or if you're being sold to, your immediate response is skepticism and defense, and you're not trying to part with your money. And you learn a lot of esoteric, intangible concepts through sales, where certain things that don't seem exactly intuitive, they make themselves clear to you. as you learn to sell more. One of those things is that you're not just selling a product, you're selling an experience. People actually enjoy being sold to. And the more effort you put into it and the more of an experience you make it, even if it's kind of like sleazy car dealer style, if it's entertaining, people eventually learn to enjoy spending money. And there's a whole sales guide that we're going to be publishing very soon that talks about concepts like these. And something that differs from other sales guides is it focuses on things nobody else talks about, like the spiritual degradation of working in sales, because sales inherently is performance, and anything that involves performance degrades you after a while and takes away your energy levels and it burns you out. So the sales guide teaches you about that. It teaches you how to watch out for it and how to account for it by rebuilding your stock of energy over time as you approach sales. And there's a lot of different sources that we pulled information from: FBI hostage negotiation tactics, ancient Taoist energy principles, redacted CIA documents about energy manipulation, Green Beret tactics for overthrowing countries with a small amount of people, all sorts of crazy stuff. So that's what the Discord is for. It is a corporation, and it is our skyscraper tower office, and it's where people go to enrich themselves and be better people. If anybody's interested, you can go onto my account, and it should be right in the bio. Just go to our Discord, and that's really like the high point of where all our information comes from, our Twitter and our Discord. So yeah, a lot of thought was put into that aesthetic. The boiler room in particular is a reference to the movie Boiler Room with Vin Diesel. And it's also, of course, a reference to actual boiler rooms where people sit down and they do cold calls, kind of like Wolf of Wall Street style, where they're trying to approach complete strangers and sell them something, even though they had never met them. And it's probably one of the highest levels of sales density you could achieve in life is cold calling strangers day in and day out. It's exhausting, but if you master it, you could make yourself a lot of money.
You're absolutely right. One of my first jobs was cold calling. I was like in 11th grade or something, and I worked for I only worked for like a week, but I had to cold call people right out of the phone book to sell like exterminating services for homeowners, and it was really rough, man. I think I worked like maybe
Brutal.
6 days, and I think I got like one lead, and I wasn't allowed to close the sale, and I think the guy screwed it up when he was closing it, but the person had termites, and then he still didn't buy our services. So, but yeah, that cold calling, if anyone's ever done that before, man, oh man, that is that you get over like that anxiety and that fear pretty quick when you do cold calling, and then face to face sales becomes so much easier. And I've done that as well. So pretty interesting. I definitely want to ask about the supplements because I worked 7 years for a huge supplement company doing sales for them before getting into my current career. But if you don't mind, let me ask again another question about the collection itself before we get into the supplement stuff, which is probably really interesting. And then, of course, because Bitcoin, you could definitely jump in after my question, but I'm curious to know what has the community contributed to the collection, or what have they contributed to the direction of the project itself?
Well, the community is 100% our most important factor. I'd say anybody who's trying to sell NFTs alone, they need to value their community. They need to put value into their community because the community is your source of value. An NFT, a generative PFP project, for instance, you're essentially creating a tribal signifier for a community. And, there is inherent value in just the speculative nature of, is this going to go up in price? Can I buy this so I can sell it later? That's all fine and good, but it's all rooted in one source. And I think you see this for a lot of NFTs, where the only thing that they're doing is essentially creating artificial value so it can become something speculative, which is fine, especially in a bull market. But over time, you're going to find that value degrades and drops off because, number one, people don't really think the art actually looks good. They're just trying to make money. And number two, they don't actually value the community. That was the thesis for the Yayo coin, for instance. A big part of it was satirizing shitcoin culture, where people essentially were looking at cheap tokens and they were joining telegrams and spamming rocket ship emojis and talking about, oh, I think this looks good, but they don't actually think anything. They're just trying to convince everybody else around them that this is value add so they can eventually dump on it with some kind of value in their pocket. When you have everybody doing that at the same time, however, it's fake. It's very fake energy. So the Yayo coin satirized that, and we found that the same thing was happening with NFTs. Milady was a big example of this, where we kind of demonstrated that we were one of the very few, if only, actual NFT communities that succeeded in the PFP concept. And what ended up happening was you had all these other projects that died off once their price fell, whereas Remilia projects, they survived in the trenches. People came to our Discord, people participated in our community, they wore the PFP, and they created a culture with its own unique set of memes that perpetuated regardless of price action. And it rewarded us very greatly, when bull markets came back and when price rose again, because it shows this PFP that I'm purchasing, it actually has value as a tribal signifier. I'm part of a community. I'm part of a tribe. I have an identity. And Remilia has created this sort of family of projects where each of our NFTs have their own specific style of tribe. Remilio redacted babies, volatile, chaotic, offensive; Milady, thoughtful, rooted in, the online Mia discourse. Then you have Yayo, and Yayo has its own community. And it's something that you steer when you put your own energy into it. Initially, all the memes had to come from us. It's really me, like doing edits and creating aesthetic images. But once you get that ball rolling, it takes off on its own. And our community has contributed a plethora of memes. They've developed personas. Like Doug Applegate, for instance, one of my closest friends. He created an identity built off of sort of the man in the suit with the strong name. Another gentleman, Demetrius D. Davenport, Earl Douglas Applegate, John Lemaire, all these people, they created these sort of personas that tie into the Yayo aesthetic. And as it takes off, I've had to do less work creating aesthetic images and memes because the community makes them on their own. So
Nice.
the community is our most important factor. And it's going to be even more so when we release the sales affiliate program, because what you're buying into isn't just, a journal that teaches you how to sell. It's not just a Discord. It's a group of people that are on their process of personal growth. They're learning and they're getting better, and they're enriching each other around them. And, if you go into the Milady Discord, their form of gatekeeping is built around art, where they'll gatekeep out Bored Ape Yacht Club or Azuki or Penguins and stuff like that, because it's not real art to them. And that's what they're gatekeeping, and that's important. What Yayo gatekeeps is attitude, mentality, and respect. It's in our core principles when you join the Discord. We're trying to bring in a certain type of person who's open, who's honest, who's sincere, and who's positive. But most importantly, someone that's motivated and willing to improve themselves. Because life is a constant process of improving yourself towards an unattainable state of perfection. And if you stop trying to grow in life, that's when you start dying.
Wow, I like everything I'm hearing. I like when NFT collections take on that small business mindset. You guys are almost like through affirmation, saying we're not a small business, we're a gigantic corporation, right? And we have our community boots on the ground making us better every day. I kind of I knew there was a lot of attitude and a good vibe with this project, but the way you're laying out, I mean, people in the audience, I don't know what you guys think. This is pretty a lot different from the typical NFT project, to say the least. Because Bitcoin, jump in.
So guys, I'm hearing a lot of good stuff, supplements, aesthetics, fitness, and all that stuff. You guys were talking about Schwarzenegger movies and Stallone movies. So, I myself, I love that arm wrestling movie that you guys were talking about with Stallone. And, I'm also a huge fan of Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bloodsport, huge fan of him and Bulo. So I wanted to know, right, the rise of the fitness community into the cryptocurrency landscape, right? Tokens, NFTs, and all that stuff. So I wanted to know, right, given that, ourselves here, because Bitcoin, all of our analysts are, above 6 foot and over 250 pounds. So we're trying to create a revolution.
We just lost you.
That sector.
You're cutting out
Okay.
the last like 15 seconds, I would say.
Yeah, you cut off at "we're trying to create."
He's in a bad spot, it looks like, for reception.
Yeah, he's struggling.
It's okay. We'll give him some time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he rugged. I'll bring him back up. Hopefully, it's better. No, I think it just kicked him out. He might just need to switch devices. But I brought up someone else who requested the mic. And guys, if you have questions and you're not able to get on the space, you could ask them in the YouTube chat. I'm monitoring it loosely as well. But oh, he's back because Bitcoin good.
Yeah, they're trying to suppress him. They don't want people to know how to do better.
Am I good now?
No, I think it's your reception.
Oh, guys.
Not good.
Hello?
Not good for YouTube, right?
Because you there, bro?
I think he's having trouble. I'll let White Boy come in and
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now, bro.
Oh, okay. All right, what do I know?
1, 2, 3. Now we can hear you.
Okay. All right. I went outside now, but basically, I wanted to know a gauge of how is the bodybuilding, strongman, and powerlifting community over at Yayo's, right? Me and myself personally, I'm trying to recruit a herd of big, strong men, trying to improve their financial lives because I see a pandemic, right, among the strength community, right? We invest so much into our bodies, and you know, cause and effect, right? You put a lot of resources into your strength, into your might, but your finances end up suffering. So, some of these men have to go to deep lengths to make ends meet, right? Whether it's working 2 full-time jobs at a supermarket, right, or perhaps a vitamin shop, and of course, those jobs, the reason why they get them is to get discounts to fulfill their protein and carbohydrates and all their macronutrients. So I wanted to know, how is the sentiment on that side of the Yayo community, and what would be the proposition of Yayo perhaps sponsoring the Mr. Olympia bodybuilding competition.
Ooh, nice.
Or the World's Strongest Man competition?
So we 100% love our bodybuilders. We do have a couple individuals who are into bodybuilding specifically. We opened up a channel in our Discord called Health Club, kind of like the Patrick Bateman, like rich people gym that kind of ties into the corporate aesthetic. But that's a channel specifically built around nutrition principles and fitness principles. And it's not just bodybuilding. We do everything. Me personally, I did a little bit of lifting when I was younger, but I'm mainly focused on MMA myself. I believe in fighting. I believe in how it enriches the mind and strengthens the body. Doug Applegate, for instance, he loves skiing. There's all sorts of different sports that appears in our Health Club channel. And we do want to cultivate a sort of like 4chan fit culture, but, a little more technical, less silly. And we do want to propagate a huge community of bodybuilders, athletes, individuals who actually are going to use our supplements to make themselves better. And on a philosophical level, it's crucial for your own manhood and your own sense of value to create a sort of atmosphere of excellence and fitness. Bodybuilding in particular is interesting because it's a sort of it's approaching that state of perfection, like I said. And if you do lift for aesthetics, you start to notice that the closer you get, the farther it feels to
right.
pure perfection. That's where you get a lot of body dysmorphia from. We do want to create something that's sustainable as well for long-term health and life. And I think you find that a lot of bodybuilding people, as they get older, they start to switch to more calisthenic type workouts and such that help them live longer and have more sustainable workouts. But bodybuilding is awesome, man. Who doesn't want to be jacked? Who doesn't want to have like their veins bulging out of their biceps? Who doesn't want to look perfect like a Greek god? That's awesome. And we definitely encourage people to come in and join Yayo. That's also why we do the sales affiliate program, because if anybody's like me, they have trouble focusing on more than one thing at a time in terms of pure effort. And there's sort of this tunnel vision mentality where if you're trying to become good at something, you're completely honed in on that. You're min-maxing it. And it's important to have that balance in life. You find a lot of people that are purely focused on the money. They may be neglecting their bodies, their sleep, and their health, staying up late at night for all the best plays and trying to make the most possible money. We want basically a legion of Renaissance men who are getting jacked, who are getting healthy, who are getting strong, flexible, and capable, who have their breathing down pat, who sleep perfect. And the better you get at all things, the easier it all becomes. If you make enough money that you're not waging anymore, you're not being drained of time parasites in your life where you're spending all your day working and exhausting yourself just to make ends meet. If you make a serious amount of money, then you can focus more on the things you actually enjoy. And that's what we want. We want to get our bodybuilders into Yayo. We want them sharing their knowledge and their wisdom. We want to learn more supplements that essentially bring you to your goals. Our supplements, for instance, for Yayo, our initial product line is going to be pine pollen. We're going to be releasing our supplements in stages. Pine pollen is stage 1, and it's our most important. It comes from ancient Taoist knowledge and wisdom, and it's proven to increase testosterone. Pine pollen is the greatest natural steroid you will ever encounter in your life. It increases testosterone heavily, and it basically has all of these positive effects, but none of the negative effects of taking anabolic steroids. You're not going to shrink your nuts. You're not going to cause organ damage. You're not going to have hair loss. You're not going to be irritable. You're not going to have acne. Your libido is going to work just fine. It actually boosts it heavily. Pine pollen is essentially the greatest natural steroid you could ever have. And our knowledge for supplements comes from esoteric health Twitter. So a lot of these people, they spent a lot of time trying to wade through all the nonsense and all the fake stuff that people will prescribe from traditional medicine, but it actually has horrible effects. If you know the seed oil thing, that was big in the past 2 years, where people were really understanding that a lot of the problems with Western diets comes from heavy consumption of seed oils, and cutting them out creates incredible benefits for your health and life. That sort of place is where we come from. And our team has athletes. We have a doctored chemist. We have the smartest people I've ever met, and some of the best lifters and some of the best athletes I've ever met, all coming together with a history of actually trying these products, telling us what works and what doesn't. So yes, we definitely value the bodybuilding community and anyone who's interested in health and athleticism.
So I have one scenario that I want to give you. Perhaps it can inspire you in this product line, right? So a couple of days ago, standing behind the neck presses, right? And this was after warming up quite extensively with standing dumbbell shoulder presses, like my great hero, Eddie Hall, does before every single upper body workout, right? And, I go up aggressively thinking about Mike O'Hearn, right? Thinking of how, he's of the NFT community, right? As you guys have seen, it's become quite the meme in crypto Twitter, right? Coming out of the pool all bulky and looking quite handsome, right? So as I'm doing my set, I get to the 9th rep thinking that I'm about to pass out. And I thought to myself, if I had an inhalant, right? Those ammonia caps that powerlifters use or strongmen use before a big lift. If there was a Yayo ammonia cap, right, where you sniff it and you feel the energy from all of the Yayo community gathering behind you for that lift, perhaps it can bring a sense of unity, right? And say someone hits a PR, right, like myself, right? I want to get to 225 for 12 repetitions on standing behind the neck, while currently I'm at 200 for 9. So, if I were to use a product, right, created by the NFT community, where I can whiff it, and then within my soul repetition, I'm thinking of all the community members rallying behind me, screaming at me, yelling, up, 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 right? That would be something remarkable. And then you can see everyone on the Discord. And, perhaps ammonia bottle cap that you ship out can have an inspirational quote from like Ronnie Coleman or something like that, right? Perhaps you can bring in some endorsers from people like Jake
there's
Cutler
something like that
Ronnie
already
Coleman.
called There's something like that already called Yayo, but you can't send it through the mail.
Oh yes, yes. I see. I see.
I thought
But
that's where you were going with it. I'm like, oh, I've heard of this before.
no. But if you know people like Eric Lillibridge and anybody who's ever trained at Westside Barbell, you know just how greatly ammonia caps can unite a group of big, strong men, especially ones that are trying to progress through their finances. Because what I've realized, right? What I've
Finish my
realized
drink here.
every single and able-bodied man or woman that is completely obsessed with the gym, right? If I can only add 5 more pounds to the bar, if I can only get to my standing behind the neck press PR from 9 reps to 15 reps, if only, right? If only they would be willing to go the distance, right? So if they apply all of that same tenacity and ferocity into their finances, they can go far. And if you unite grown men like this, your community would go really, really, really far. So I would suggest, right, on the product line, some pre-workout as well. Some pre-workout, maybe call it uh like Yayo lift, right? Yayo lift or something like that. That's something to inspire you. And I actually know somebody who can help out with that. His name is Coach Bruce. He's actually trained an elite squad of grown men that have bettered their finances. So hopefully you guys can collaborate.
Yeah, Coach Bruce. If that's who I think it is, we actually have had some experience with him through Yayo's initial community on the Telegram, and I respect him a great deal. He's a monster at like building social capital. He did an insane amount of followers on his first Twitter account, so I respect Coach Bruce a lot. As far as products go, that's definitely on the pipeline. We're doing an initial stage right now where we sell pure ingredients first, and then we're going to be considering compounds and supplement packages down the line. The community is incredibly important for what you mentioned, because essentially everything people do, whether they realize it or not, is built around other people around them. Lifters in particular, they have some kind of goal in mind, and those goals usually either involve impressing others or just pure number autism, where they're just trying to get the metrics better. They're trying to satisfy themselves at higher PRs and better statistics. But when you lift like that, you're trying to be impressive to those around you. And there's this strange combination of competition and cooperation when you're part of a community of people that are basically pushing themselves to their limit. You either want to best people around you, you want to do better than everyone else, you want to mog, you want to dominate, or you're trying to do it for others around you, where people are your brothers. They're in the trenches with you. And it's kind of like that wartime mentality, where if you talk to soldiers who are in some of the worst situations on earth, active war, stuff like that, they'll tell you that all the patriotism, all of the ideals, everything that they're fighting for disappears. And it really just becomes about the guys next to them in the trenches. They're doing it for their brothers around them. And everything is built around, tribe. It's built around community. It's built around your peers. So it is important to have that. And you can try to be a lone wolf, and you can try to do everything solo, and if that empowers you, good for you. But for the most part, you tend to get better results when you're a part of something. People find it satisfying to believe in the same thing as others around them, to have a singular focus. So that's what Yayo Corporation seeks to do for the athletic-minded people, is to create similar goals and to reaffirm their beliefs and to create a source of motivation for them to get better as individuals. Because it is satisfying to do it alone,
Let's
but it's so
reset
much
this
more
room, baby.
satisfying when you have an audience of people around you that do
What do
it
you guys
with
think
you
in the chat?
and that understand the
Bodybuilding
magnitude of what you're
spaces.
doing as well.
Hey, if you don't mind, I want to just I like where you're going with this. It's been like an unexpected good turn into different topics that we never touch on, not even in our unrecorded spaces. But I want to reset the room because a lot of people have joined in the last like 10 or 15 minutes. So basically what you're listening to is an NFT happy hour with Yayo Corp. They're a big Ethereum project migrated from Kanto. They have a really proactive value add community, and they treat their project like a corporation. They will have an affiliate sales program for nutritional supplements, a line of nutritional supplements which are coming. That's why we're talking about the, weightlifting, bodybuilding, stuff like that. I did have oh yeah, White Boy has been up here for a while. Hopefully he's still here. If you want to jump in with your question and then get back to the we'll get back to Maria has a couple of good questions coming up that I actually really want to know the answer to. And then I don't know, probably in the next like 8 or 9 minutes, we'll end this and head over exclusively to YouTube to do our giveaways. But yeah, White Boy, go ahead. I know you've been waiting for a while. I appreciate the patience.
Yeah, man. No, yeah, I appreciate it. I just wanted to say I appreciate having a Remilia project that I could show to my more normie-minded friends. And I just wanted to ask why the delay on the supplement release, because I remember being in the Yayo spaces a while ago, and I was just wondering, So I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm just curious.
No, absolutely. We delayed the supplement releases because we wanted to assure absolute quality to the people that are purchasing them. After we got the sample packs back, we wanted to completely reorient how we did the labeling, how we did the bottling, and kind of upgrade our system, so to speak, for our suppliers and our packaging. And we're releasing it in stages because that works for us in terms of timing, and it helps people focus more on what they're selling individually. If we release something that was like 5 different products and just said go sell them, that's not as effective as releasing one specific product to focus on and learning it in and out. That's one of the principles that you'll learn in the sales paper as well, is learning your product inside and out. And we're starting off with pine pollen because it's our most important product, and it's the one that directly does the most Yayo core terms of benefit to you, which is raising testosterone. It's making you an animal and a monster, and it gives you that aggression. As far as other products, all of our supplements are built around immediate efficacy. So we want to sell something that people take and they feel immediately and they know they're benefiting from. So right now it's completely about upholding the standards that we preach. We don't want to sell a mediocre product, and we refuse to. So that's why the delay. We wanted to make sure everything's perfect before we send it down the line. And it aligns with timing as well.
No, yeah, I knew it was for quality reasons. And I'm just super bullish on the project. I'm really excited to see what happens in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Nice, that was really interesting. I have 2 more questions, and we have someone requesting the mic. Maybe we give it later. But I wanted to ask you, like, considering that Yayo, I'm gonna say in Spanish, is linked with masculinity, I was wondering if it's a welcoming community for women. And maybe it's a stupid question, but as myself having like a Focus Women project, I had that question asked before, like people wondering if they were allowed to join the Discord. I'm asking the same to you.
Absolutely. We have several women in our community as well. The reason we talk so much about masculinity and, about male values, the Yayo man, all that comes from personal experience. I'm a man and the people on the team are men. So we understand what it means to be a man. And there have been ideas tossed around for creating the ideal Yayo woman, but it wouldn't really work very well if we tried to do that, because we would just end up, making them dress in bikinis and sexualize themselves. And a lot of the things that we do have in terms of our goals in mind and the things that we want are sort of, masculine ideals in terms of bodybuilding, heavy, aggressive sales, power, violence, stuff like that. The thing is that women aren't barred from participating in that. They're more than welcome to, and we encourage it, but it's not something that we don't want to put them into a sort of label. We don't want to bottle them into what we think they should be. I could go more into detail about the philosophy of what makes a Yayo man versus just a man. And I'm sure you could flip that into what makes a woman versus just a Yayo woman. But essentially, it's not something that I want to talk about too much because I don't have personal experience being a woman. So it's not something that I want to, put in a label or an idea out there that doesn't fit in with reality. And I'm kind of waiting to see what women that participate in our community that distinguish themselves start to act like and what the ideal would be. And it would kind of go from there. but essentially it is a project started by men and it's about masculine values. So they're not forbidden. We just haven't really focused on it.
That's great, because that brings me to my second question, which is, when
Best question.
Yayo meeting women from Cosmos?
Say that one more time.
When Yayo are gonna meet women from Cosmos, which is my project. All women, badass, ready to fight.
Oh, if they want to meet us, I'll be happy to meet them. I'll never object to meeting a woman, basically.
I think he would like the Rockabellas. Well, I think they would go well with this collection. Maria, we got to
The
send.
Rockabella?
Yeah, her one of her collabs was like a classic, just I guess the closest thing to a Yayo female based on our conversation today. We'll send you some samples in the chat and you could definitely take a look. But Maria knows that's my favorite collection, even though it's not the OG Women from Cosmos collection that she put out.
Oh, this looks interesting. It's kind of like 1950s pinup style.
Yes, it's
Yes.
exactly
Yeah, a lot
right.
of World War II aesthetics. I like it. It's good.
And we have a Yayo man from the Cosmos up here, Crypto Tank, who's a content creator. He has a lot of presence in the Cosmos ecosystem, a lot of trading experience. Welcome up here, Tank. And by the way, after Tank, I have one more question, and then we'll wrap the spaces part of this. So hopefully you guys the audience will join us over on YouTube for a bit afterwards. But yeah, go ahead, Tank, man. I know you're interested in this. You're a jiu-jitsu man.
Yeah, hey. Actually, so even before that, I was a competitive bodybuilder and competitive powerlifter as well. Actually know firsthand, actually have them on speed dial. Mark Lobiner from Target Fitness, ex-Olympians, Brandon Curry, he lives in the area. I have these gentlemen on speed dial, very much into the fitness space, and listening to what Yayo's trying to do with their supplement line. Like I know, and I'm not going to name the company or names, but I know some pretty big names in the space when it comes to producing supplements in the industry. And I'm just curious. I'm not trying to be negative at all. When you're talking about quality control checks and supplements and bringing top tier supplements to the people, like, where's the supply coming from? Who's doing the quality control checks? What does all that look like, if you don't mind me asking? Like,
good question.
Yeah, our suppliers, they're all licensed official suppliers, different parts of the world, depending on what supplement you get. They send us the chemical makeup of each supplement per shipment. And we have both experienced people that have worked in organic supplements, online drop shipping and merchandise, and they do all the quality checks. We're not just cooking the stuff in our garage. We use licensed fulfillment centers for bottling and labeling and for shipping. And we've spent a lot of work in making sure everything's legitimate. The sourcing and what supplements we chose specifically do come from personal experience, and they are based on longevity and safety. We're not going to be selling anything that has negative effects for your body. And if there's anything that contains any degree of risk, yohimbine, for example, yohimbine HCl, we follow all the FDA guidelines and put the warnings on for how much to take per body weight and stuff like that. So everything's above the board. We make sure to emphasize quality and safety. And
no, that's cool. I was actually trying to just get you, without me saying it. Is one of your suppliers in Tennessee? I'm just curious.
I don't think we have any Tennessee suppliers. Why is it? You want to give me some alpha on that? Maybe
I'll reach out to you later. I don't want to say my friend's name and company, but I'm just kind of curious because, like I said, actually in the Southeast, their fulfillment and blending company is probably one of the top in the country. So I was just kind of curious from what you're saying, if it was if they're involved in it or not.
Yeah, shoot me a DM. We're always looking for new options and avenues to grow. So that sounds interesting.
For sure, man.
I've got a question, and thanks for Tank. Thanks for chiming in. Tank, we should do like an off-topic, just like nutrition, bodybuilding, powerlifting type space. I feel like
bro,
we would have fun because
did you see? I just want to say, did you see Jay literally challenged I think not only myself but the rest of the Cosmos ecosystem leaders to a squat challenge, bro.
That would be pretty sick if the guy who invented proof of stake if you beat him in a squat competition, would be pretty wild.
Well, I'm gonna be really impressed if he actually beats me in a squat.
If you get beat by any dev at anything physical, I think you should just delete your Twitter and your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave, dude.
No, I actually have a supplement related question from the chat, and it's about, I guess, about adaptogens, asking about if you guys have any product, or have you looked into any product involving, what is it, lion's mane, cordyceps mushroom, and then another one that I can't pronounce that I've never heard of before, Ganoderma. Just if you have looked into those at all, if you could share.
Yeah, we actually have looked into a lot of Chinese traditional medicine. One of our biggest members, Doug Applegate, he has a plethora of knowledge on that. Our founder does as well. That's where the pine pollen comes from. Right now, it's strictly focused on stuff for testosterone boosting. And our biggest emphasis, at least for our initial product line, is what you immediately feel. Cordyceps in particular, I'm more familiar with. A lot of stuff that deals with like gut biome and immune system boosting. Definitely on the pipeline as well. But for right now, we're kind of mostly focused on you just take it and you feel it. And, you know, kind of that aggression, testosterone boosting mentality. I know that ashwagandha kind of falls in line with that a little bit. I don't think we're planning to put ashwagandha on the line yet. Pine pollen is a perfect starter for us, mostly because there's no real downside to it. If you try to take too much, you know, it just, the effect kind of falls off, and you experience, like, I guess, like a period of extreme aggression and hard-ons in the morning, but it's not going to kill you. You know, some of the stuff,
That's interesting.
a lot of the Chinese traditional medicine stuff, some of it can have negative effects, and just like any other supplement or Western supplement, some of it does have negative downsides. So we want to research that very deeply and really get down pat what has good effects, what you feel immediately, and what it does for you. Because there's a lot of stuff we could be putting in that doesn't really do much. You know, it may boost antioxidants, or it may boost your immune system a little bit, but you know, we have a distinct product line right now, and it'll be released in stages. But yes, we do have several people that are versed in Chinese traditional medicine supplements like that.
And in the Discord, people can see the supplement line that you're planning to roll out over time.
Yes, we have leaked what our line was initially. We did take out one product, and we are thinking about putting in a different one, but it's released in stages. So everybody knows first stage is going to be pine pollen.
Tank, have you ever taken pine? I worked in the supplement business doing sales for like 7 years, and I've never even heard of it. So now I'm going to go down that rabbit hole, I guess, this weekend. But have you ever taken it or heard of it, Tank? Tank's taking it right now.
You have to, don't inhale it. You'll sneeze.
I think Tank's taking it as a suppository, but he can't get to his mic. But
if it does that, he'll punch a hole in a brick wall.
But hey, man, this was really cool. Maria, I don't know if you've got anything else for him, but this is definitely our most colorful space, where we got into some topics that are a lot more interesting than your typical crypto talk, for sure. And when we were setting this up, our guest here basically said that, like, the tech talk is not his thing. And I'm like, oh, thank God, because that's not where we want our spaces to go when we're talking about NFTs and trying to have fun. Yeah, I don't know, Maria, you got anything else?
No, nothing else. I think maybe we should plan another separate space to talk about supplements and pre-workouts and all of that stuff, because I'm seeing you guys really, on topic, and I feel I can, also share a few things. So yeah, but it was really good, really nice. It's what I was thinking, actually, that this community is really, the vibe that you guys have around is pretty nice. So you're definitely, like doing the cool rule. So pretty nice.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a while since I've gotten to do spaces, and this was really nice. I appreciate all your questions, and yeah, it was a fun time. Thank you.
No, thank you, man. And thank Little Gains down there for making the connect, and also Don Kryptonium, who is definitely not in a good time zone to join these spaces, but he was the one that first turned me on to the project. So we definitely appreciate him. Everybody in the audience, always appreciate you. We're going to head over to YouTube and, decompress a little bit. We're going to talk about the Stargaze newest feature that I'm sure Maria will have a lot to say on. And yeah, another fun NFT happy hours. Is episode number 6. Thanks to Yayo and all of our speakers as well. Thank everybody.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right. All right, I'm gonna bring in the chat. Chat was fun today. I was paying a lot of attention to the chat. It's hard to juggle all these things, but I was able to do it. Let's see if I
Yes.
can bring the chat in. There we go. It's not perfect, but at least we can see it on the replay, and people actually do watch the replay, which is amazing. Let me fix my camera here. There we go. There we go. There we go. What'd you think, Maria? Not a typical project.
I really enjoy it. I love their vibes and their kind of community. I like it. They're pretty fun. To be honest, it's not the typical space in where we always do the same question and so on.
I like when the NFT projects are used to kind of like drive a small business forward, and I know that they want to project the image like they're a giant corporation, but they're basically a startup, which is awesome, and they're doing it on the back of the NFT collection, where they kind of outgrew the Kanto NFT space, just picked up, migrated to Ethereum, which is by far the number one NFT space. They have connections with Remilia. They have connections with those big collections.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that they were coming from Remilio as well, which, to be honest, it has sense just for the style. Remilio is also like a kind of vaporwave-ish thing. I don't know. I love it. They are pretty different, and I like different. So
I like the artwork. I always like pixel art, but I like that it's like a Miami Vice kind of feel. I don't know if you guys know what
yes,
that is, but really cool. We have some giveaways. Most of the people in the chat are probably Stargaze NFT collectors, so they'll know exactly what it is. It's glitch candy, right? 2 of them. I've got
yeah,
one, and you've got one. Glitch Candies is the artist is an original Stargaze Genesis creator. They were part of an audio visual launch collaborative with like Signal and a couple of others in the summertime. But yeah, we'll give those away. So I think what we'll do is we will pick a number, make it easy between one.
yes.
So pick a number between 1 and 500. I'll do a wheel spin. But in the meantime, what's this new Stargaze feature?
Okay, so let's gonna talk about Open Edition.
I was going to say first edition, open edition. Yeah.
Open Edition, which is like their name say it's like you mint one piece and you can mint them like unlimited time. Well, actually, you can do like different ways, but what Stargaze is doing is like you mint one piece and people can mint it all the amount they want, basically. And you will ask why I want to mint a piece that other person has because it's the same. Well, actually, I feel that this is more focused to art in the sense, like, for example, on Ethereum, like big names, they tend to do this to allow people to be able to afford their pieces. Like
Yeah.
it's not the same paying 1 ETH than 0.05. But also there are other projects that maybe use it like kind of gambling. Like if you mint whatever amount, then we burn it and then you will get a special airdrop. You'll get whatever they want to play around that. I think it's pretty fun. I've always seen like a way to be able to afford a piece from your favorite artist, like more in the art space, because it was my experience on it. But I don't know, I'm looking to see how it's going and how community is reacting. I'm asking you guys in the chat, like, how do you feel about this open edition? Because I know the majority of Stargaze community is about trading NFTs and all that vegan stuff.
Yeah, this kind of lends itself to a different kind of function, right? Shane told me a good purpose would be like for tickets for something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
NFT tickets.
Hmm.
I'm thinking you could almost use this to fractionize a piece. You could, right?
Yeah. And I don't know if they're planning to do in the future, like for example, what I experience on Ethereum is like an artist put an open edition and maybe they have like only 50 pieces, not unlimited, or only during 1 hour, during one day, and that's it. So I think it's pretty interesting. You can use it for different things. I minted all of them today, so.
Well, I was so busy. Today's like the first day I didn't log into Stargaze while I was at work. So I'm gonna I'll spin the wheel now. We'll get it over with, and we have 2. So we'll pick the 2 closest people. I turned the sound off, so hopefully you can hear me. What do we got here? 152. So 152. Let's see who is close. Let's go back to the chat. Anyone close? Anyone close? James Prisby almost got it. Jeez. I don't see anyone being closer than you. He picked 147. He's 5 away. It's amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I don't really see anyone that close. 152. Indigo Mafia 222. That might be the next closest. No, that can't be. Justin Clayton. Didn't Justin win last time?
No.
I think Justin's the next closest. If I made a mistake and you think you're closer, let me know in the chat. But yeah, it looks like we'll just give him away 2 just like that. Yeah, I think it's Justin and Indigo Mafia 152. Nice try. Very funny. Oh, you guys are so funny. It's the first time anyone ever tried to do that.
Yeah.
First time ever.
Oh,
But yeah, curious what you guys thought of the Ethereum project, if anyone is involved in the community. I know Gaines is. I think Shroot might be involved as well. Shroot might be involved as well.
Is.
I looked at it. I mean, it's at like a half ETH floor price. Was it like 3,000, something like that? Let me see. I have the collection somewhere up here. Let's see. There are
0.35 ETH.
Where do you see that?
In the chat.
No, I see 0.5 ETH.
0.5 now. He's saying yes.
Yeah. I mean, 0.35 is what, like $600? Something like that. $600. I mean, maybe it's worth putting some collection offers out there. I don't know. I would like to look and see more of the mechanic and like the connection. We didn't really press him on the like the sales and the NFT. Exactly.
Maybe you can buy on Canto and then you breach it, because they say that they have still a lot of pieces there.
There is more than one marketplace. Yeah, you're right. And I think the price is lower over there. Or at least it was a couple days ago when I checked it out. So yeah. Open edition minter, I think it's useful because maybe you're building a game and you want like 500 of the same thing, right? They're kind of like fungible tokens, but I'm guessing they would have a unique token ID in the metadata, even if it looked exactly the same as the next, right? So tickets, right? Tickets would be the most obvious.
I mean, and you mentioned several times that you used to collect like baseball card.
Similar.
And at the end, even if you have the same, yes, the one who got minted first is gonna be always more rare,
Yeah, that's a good point, because people might want like the single digit numbers, kind of like inscriptions, right? Because you could inscribe the same thing over and over and over again, but they'll have a different inscription ID number. I guess it's like, kind of close to open edition minter. But yeah, I think we could also use it maybe next week for proof of participation NFTs, right? I think that would be a good use for the open edition minter. I don't know how it would work though, because could you make them a free mint? I don't know. Or maybe we could just mint a bunch to ourselves and give them out to something like that.
Well, we can do a free mint.
Got it.
And that's it. Just put the same.
Got it. So what's going on with your gelato collab? Finishing it up or just getting started?
No, I'm finishing. I need to have done by the end of the month or beginning of July. And it's not because they put me any timing, and I'm so grateful for that, but I really have to finish because I have more things coming. Looking hot, dude. Really nice pieces, I have to say.
Yeah, I like seeing the process when you put the process on your
Mm-hmm.
Instagram and Twitter. Because again, for someone like me, I'm not an artist. I'm not ever making NFTs ever. I like to see just like how this digital art comes together. Right. When I was a
Yeah.
kid, I drew everything with pencil or chalk usually. Right. Because I really was into art when I was a little kid, and then I don't know what happened. I get, I got into other things. Right.
Like myself. Like I've been years and years without, like actually spending time drawing. But yeah, I mean, I have different videos. When I'm kind of burned out, I just switch from the iPad to the notebook because
Mm.
I feel like I'm doing something different, basically. But they're pretty cool. Like when I was traveling a few weeks ago, I went with my notebook and I was drawing for gelato as well. And then, like you take a picture from that, you send it to the iPad, and then you work on there. I realized that I'm so used to iPad right now, like like drawing, like physical. It's like I'm missing the go back button. Like please, undo this. But yeah,
But before I forget, wanted to say thanks to Shroot for tipping us during the stream. We always
yes, thank
appreciate it.
you.
We see the tips come in, and there have been a few. I think Shroot tipped us more than once the last couple weeks as well. So thanks for that. He's trying to grease the wheels for when his collection comes out. He wants to book like 4 consecutive NFT happy hour spaces because he knows just how much volume we drive with our Twitter spaces, right?
Yeah.
All the volume. The roadmap for Don Remilio's, you know what's funny? I saw Shane last night and he asked me if I was like upset about it. I said, no, I wasn't upset. I said, I just don't, I think it would have been cool if they gave us a heads up, like, we're doing something funny on Stargaze. We'll use your face. And then I could have convinced them to maybe like do like 5% to charity or something like that. Something.
Yeah.
Or like or giveaways or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like I
Stop
didn't even
gaslighting.
know till STC shared on the Telegram group. I was like, what the hell is this? So that means I'm famous now. Oh my god.
You know what's
But yeah.
funny? I still bought 3 of them thinking I could flip them, but then I dumped them. I lost money on them.
No, I just asked for one. Like, okay, you put my face. Who is gonna send me one with my face at least? And that's it.
Yeah, I did not get one with your face or my face. I got I forgot what I got. I think I got a Juno one or something. I don't know. But someone in the chat, maybe Scarpo. We didn't really get to ask, but I would like to know what's the connection exactly between Remilia and Yayo, if you know it. We got a little sidetracked. We usually don't have speakers come up, but
Yeah, I think Gaines shared it before, like Remilio hired him or something.
got it.
But please, guys, like educate us because I'm
Yeah,
so out of the loop.
very curious, very curious. And then Gaines, you could let me know how I'm gaslighting. Gaslighting. That's such a weird term. Gaslighting. So they create so Remilia just
Okay.
it's so the same team behind it, but different front person managing it, maybe, if I'm right. Remilia. I
And
remember.
different discourse as well.
All right, you guys want to hear like a sad story about Remilia? So it's worse than the Bitcoin frog story. So I did like a live stream with Don, and he had like a whole bunch of Remilias, and he's like, "Oh, I'll give you some." I don't know how much they were at the time, maybe like $100 or something like that. But I think he had so many of them because they were a free mint, right? I think they were a free mint or a cheap mint. And anyway, long story short, I never sent him my Ethereum address because my new computer was just getting set up. I didn't have all my wallets in the browser. I have like 20 wallets. So then like a couple weeks went by, and then he said, I think the price went to like $300 or $400. And he's like, I'm still deciding if I should send you the Remilia. And I said, you know what? I said, don't send it to me. I said, you offered it to me. I never gave you my address. Don't worry about it. They're too expensive now. And then what are they now? They're like almost, I don't know. How much are the Remilias? I'll check now.
You know how many times I asked him to send me one? I don't even know how many times I'm asking him, like, okay, but send me one. Nothing. 1 ETH, apparently.
One
For the
ETH, great.
baby.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
and they launch now the babies. I saw a video from him.
I have the babies as inscriptions.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know how many Miladies he has, but he's been talking about them for a long time. He loves them. He's just said it. They're a lot of fun. But for him, fun is different than what my fun is. He thinks fun is like sitting in Discord all day chatting with people. So that I'm not doing that. Remilio shot up 2.5 ETH. Jesus. 2.5 ETH. All right. Well, I blew it. You know, just like I didn't get free Bitcoin frogs or whatever, $30 Bitcoin frogs. I didn't get $80 Bitcoin when someone was going to give me 3 of them. Didn't get
Yeah.
Remilio.
You don't like money, looks like, right?
No way. I don't. First thing I would do if I hit it huge with like an Adora NFT or Women from Cosmo NFT, I would get like a way fancier background, like what Maria has, because she's at the pool now. I have this fake spaceship that's not real. People thought it was real, but it's not. It's not. You're still early. That's what everybody says that has a whole bunch. Yeah, we're early. I'm sick of people saying we're early. We're not early at all. We're definitely not early if like the banks are getting into crypto. We're not early anymore. We can't say that. Sponsor the Nashville event. Tank, I just might do that. I might say, hey, do you guys are interested in sponsoring, give you a speaker spot to talk anything, your project or ETH NFTs? Because Tank, can we talk about
go ahead.
a little bit? All right. I have the mic, so I'll talk. And if I screw up the information, Tank could just tell me in the chat. So here's where we're at with NFT Nashville. It was never going to be a huge event, but we did ask for funding from Accelerator DAO. They denied us. It's probably fair because Accelerator DAO supposedly is focused on Atom. We were going to do an NFT project. There's no consumer chain with NFTs. They didn't like the way the prop was worded. So, long story short, Tank kind of revised the plan. We pushed the date back about 2 months later than we were going to. So it's November 4th. It's a Friday. Stargaze is going to pay for the venue. Done deal. Yeah. Accelerator DAO is focused on LUM. I see that. That was a joke, right? True. So, Stargaze will supply the venue. Stargaze will be the main sponsor. So they actually allocated one of their employees to help us plan, which is awesome. We'll sell tickets. Actually, we're going to lower the price of the tickets a bit because we're going to get a lot of sponsors for this kind of grassroots sponsorship. Some of the sponsors will just get speaking or panel spots. Some of the sponsors will be involved in the merch. Small projects that can't afford to sponsor don't have to, because we're going to have the metaverse event. As far as I know, Tank, you can give me thumbs up or thumbs down if the metaverse event has been discussed or if we're going to wait on that. I think that could be put together later, but I like the idea of the parallel metaverse event because, Stargaze is mostly small projects that no one's going to, that minted, $10 NFT is going to sponsor an event that they can't even go to. So there's that. Projects will be able to send merch that we can give out. We could do commercials when we repurpose the stream, and there will be, of course, screens. I'm sure people can. I'm thinking, Tank, if we have maybe like a station with just QR codes, and people can just scan QR codes to bring them directly to projects that are minting or whatever of the sponsors, so they could check out those NFTs, even if those projects are not there. Shroot. Wow, Shroot is on fire with these hilarious jokes. Shroot's probably been studying my Twitter for this surge in humor. Can only come from my Twitter. Stargaze. Okay, let me tell you what Stargaze told me last night. So I talked to Shane and I talked to Darius from Stargaze and I talked to Mike, developer. They really, really, really want this event to just be awesome. So Shane didn't even think twice when I told him we needed the venue sponsored. He just said, done. I said, okay, great. We shook on it. Tank got in touch with him. But some of the things Shane was telling me just about Cosmos in general makes me think that we don't know what we're getting ourselves into, because a lot of people absolutely hate Stargaze. And I'm not talking about community members. I'm talking about founders of other chains absolutely just do not like Stargaze at all. So,
Really?
yeah, I'm surprised to hear that, because it's not like they're hurting any other chains, right? Like, I get that they don't like Archway and they don't like Kujira. I totally understand that, because they're cutting into Osmosis and Juno and they'll compete with Neutron. Indigo Mafia. Can I ban people from the chat? Hold on. I don't know how to ban people from the chat. Indigo Mafia. He's banned next time. What was I going to say? Yeah, but I don't know why they don't like Stargaze. I don't know why. And some of the specifics he was telling me, I don't want to say because I might butcher it and tell it wrong. But let's just say it's people that we all know do not like Stargaze. Didn't sabotage them, but kind of ghost them when they ask for collaborations and whatnot.
Maybe because Stargate is one of the few projects that are doing actually something.
Doing something, and also one of the few projects where the founder is not out of touch. And I would say the same thing for Omniflix. Sisla and Shane, two most helpful people, two busiest people, and they still go out of their way to help people.
Yeah.
So
So
there's
much
that.
respect.
Yeah, and I got to say, Sisla was one of the first people that helped me from the beginning. Omniflix is going to probably take care of the tickets for us for this.
That's nice.
All right. Hopefully that didn't just get on the mic where I just burped. So I just tried to mute, but it didn't work. Tank. Now I feel like Tank on his Twitch streams. So anyway, I think that's about it. I think this was a good stream. Audience was engaged. That's the most important thing. That's the whole reason why we do this format.
Yes.
I like diving into the other ecosystems. Ethereum, especially. I have like 2 ETH NFTs or something like that, 3 maybe at the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's daunting to go into another ecosystem that you're not familiar with, but it's really daunting to go into Ethereum because it's just zillions of these big projects.
Yeah, and I think it's great considering the majority of our audience are coming from Cosmos and their only experience with NFTs was Stargaze, like to actually see what else there is out there. So pretty cool. I like it. I love the Yayos. I want a Yayo for my ladies.
Starseed is funny. Anyway, by the way, Starseed agreed to come on the stream one time, like a surprise visit that I think the audience will like, by the way. Actually, I didn't tell Maria about it either. That's why she looks confused. But we'll have some entertainment.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. So we'll have some entertaining stuff coming up in the next couple weeks. And by the way, next week,
Okay.
this week was Ethereum. Next week will be Kusama, Polkadot, projects, and Funky might join us, at least for the YouTube portion. So
Yeah, that's so cool.
that's it. And Bushido, I know exactly what you're talking about. So that's it. I think this was a good one. Like I said, I like going to the other ecosystems, and we still got to talk about Stargaze because obviously most of our audience is very Stargaze focused. What minted today that everyone's talking about that I missed?
All the open editions.
Oh, so there was just like a long, I don't know how I don't know about these things.
Dude, they were Anio, Wolfman with ONFT, Saturn Candy.
Yeah.
The one musician, I don't know his name now. Who else? Cosmic Camera. I don't know, they had like really cool pieces. Stargaze Room, which for me was the most amazing one.
Which one?
Stargaze Rooms, and it's pixel art, so you're gonna like it.
I saw Stargaze Rooms. I do like it.
Mhm.
So basically there's a window of time for the open
Yeah, 2
edition.
weeks. So
Anyone
you have time.
you have time. I like open edition for kind of commemorative pieces,
Mhm.
banners, stuff like that. I think that people are going to take advantage of this. Of course, like we said, tickets similar to baseball cards, like Maria pointed out as well.
Yeah.
So
Like
look at
it's
that.
like Magic the
getting-
Gathering.
We're getting 3-star and 4-star ratings, just like my favorite restaurant on Google Maps. Tangled is here. Tangled must have just woke up.
Exactly, as Gaines said, we have one artist that she was like award winning in her country, in Russia, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's pretty nice, really new, new people, new kind of art. Good. I think it was a nice idea to join Stargaze with this new feature, because they have more people and they can try without spending that much on the mint fees. I guess I don't know how much it is for this open edition, to be honest.
Got it. Well, I think we could wrap it up. I think
Yeah.
next week we're still gonna have it on Friday, most likely, but earlier, a couple of hours earlier. Should be better for EU time zones. And our guest is in the EU, the co-host is in the EU, and I have no work, so I could literally do these at like 10 o'clock in the morning my time, and it doesn't affect me. So we're thinking about Thursday or Friday, maybe alternating or just trying Thursday, see how it works. But next week is going to be Friday.
Yes. And we're gonna do a poll to see if you guys prefer like Thursday or when. So
We'll try. Yeah, we'll try like 1 or 2 Thursdays, see how it goes. Oh, can I drop? I have to chill a little bit before we go. People in the chat will like this. So next week, I don't know if I'll get the video out next week, but next week I will be interviewing Jay Kwan. Let's see if the chat responds. Nope, they don't care. But anyway, I'm excited. Probably would be the biggest personality that I've ever gotten to interview. So Jay Kwan, the person who created Cosmos, and I'm pretty sure Cosmos is the first proof of stake chain. Yeah, okay, thanks. So Gus is saying, I think that's Gus.
Now people
the chat's on delay. That's why.
are
Okay.
reacting.
The chat's
We
on
were
delay.
like, well,
Gaines doesn't know anything. My God. Jay Kwan. So, yes, we do care. But anyway, we care about you. We care about your time. So we're going to end right here. Is that right?
yeah, good.
All right. I appreciate it. It's late by Maria. She always stays up for this. And you guys, a lot of people in the chat have been here every time. I still haven't sent out the proof of participation NFTs. I'll get to that in a couple days. I know it doesn't take that long, but I just have to sit and do it. And we'll have more participation NFTs for the coming weeks. So that's it. Everybody have a good one.
Thank you for joining us.
And good luck with your finishing up your collab with Gelato. Looking forward to that.
Yes, you will love them.
Oh, yeah, I already see.